let me say it this way, because you know I'm always going to tell the truth, right? Okay.
Welcome to the Tech School Podcast, powered by DSDT. I'm Josh.
I'm Mr. Harris. How are you today?
Oh, doing well, Mr. Harris. How are you doing?
I'm working on it.
Working on it?
Yeah.
We have sunshine in Detroit.
That's my new phrase. I'm working on it despite the sunshine.
We need the sunshine.
Yeah, we do. We definitely do.
Yeah, man. How's it going here at DSDT on a lovely Tuesday afternoon?
Josh, it is busy around here.
Okay.
You know, I've noticed the last few days that things are getting broken. So things are getting broken. So to me, that is a good problem to have.
Oh, it means things are getting back to normal.
That's what it means. Okay. Exactly. You know, I got called earlier because of some things that were happening in the men's restroom. And I thought to myself as I was on my way over there, I'm like, we got to get a maintenance guy back in here full time now during the day, because we used to have one prior to the pandemic.
Yes. And
now it's so many people that are using things on a regular. And I'm looking at the parking lot, and you know, I got an issue with my deliveries not being able to make it through the parking lot now because of the cars. It's like, wow. You know,
oh, you forgot how it used to be?
Yeah, I forgot how it used to be, but it's the old adage I always give everybody. Be careful what you wish for, you just might get it.
Mm-hmm. You wanted people back in the building.
And now it's like, hold on, stop. No, I was just joking, right? I was just joking. We're definitely happy to see all, you know, the students returning, but at the same time, it's like, man, it's a different day and age. It's not like pandemic. Pandemic, you know, there was days when uncertainty was here, and I would literally be the only person in the building looking out over the corridor here in Southwest Detroit and wondering when we would get back to this. And it's here. It's here now. So just trying to figure out how we make everything work now that things have changed and people have a sense of wanting to be back in classes around individuals.
Absolutely.
I think that's going to be a great conversational piece today too.
Okay.
You know, I really do, especially with the student that's going to be doing the YDSDT segment.
All right. And that'll be a little bit later on in the podcast.
Absolutely.
But first, let's bring in our homegirl, Amber.
We want to talk to Amber today? Are you sure we want to talk to Amber?
I think we want to talk to Amber.
Let's talk to Amber today.
All right. I think the question is, does Amber want to talk to us?
That's definitely the question. Right. Hi, Amber. How are you today? What? I read your lips pretty good now. I can read lips.
Yeah.
There we go.
There we go.
It was on mute because I was eating while I was waiting to come on. So, yeah. Hi, how are y'all?
Doing well, Amber. How are you doing?
I'm good. I just picked up my dog from the vet. He got neutered today.
Oh, man. What did you do to me, Mama? What did you do to me? That's how he's looking at you right now. Like, what happened?
He's so mad.
Was it? Okay,
I feel so bad.
Why? Wait a minute. You feel bad and you're the one that actually did it. Did you want to do it, or what's happening?
First, well, he marks everything. He marked the vet. As soon as we walked in there, he lifted his leg up and peed on the wall. So he had this coming, sir. He doesn't, of course, mark my house, but I have a girl dog. She's crazy. She's 6 now. And she's spayed too, but she still marks stuff. She acts like a boy dog. I think she has identity issues, but she marks territory too. So they have these wars where they're just he'll mark, then she'll mark, then he'll mark, and it's a lot. So hopefully this calms him down and prevents him from marking everything. Plus, there are health benefits to it, like dogs who are neutered, they live longer because the second leading cause of cancer in dogs is prostate cancer. So,
yeah, I never knew that.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm not the greatest animal lover. I will confess, I am not. Right, but at one point, my daughters did have a dog. Right, they had he was Pomeranian and Chihuahua. His name was Buddy. And I noticed, though, Buddy used to pee on everything. So are you telling me that I could have easily just neutered him and did away with that?
It probably would have helped. When boy dogs are urinating on everything, it's probably because they're marking it, not necessarily just having to use the bathroom.
Wow. I didn't know that. See, I learned something every. Well, sorry, Buddy, wherever you are in the world. I'm just saying.
Okay, I don't think y'all can see him, but he's laying down over there. Oh, you can. I think you see him. You see the little cone on his head.
I'll be laying down too. Wow. What is the dog's name?
Stanley.
Stanley?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Stanley, brother, we're saying a prayer for you.
Yes, we are. Poor Stanley. All right, so why don't you bring us up to speed? What's going on in tech news this week? Why don't you?
Of course. So we talked last time about TikTok having a reminder to basically stay off the app, to not be so consumed with social. So Instagram is also expanding the time management tools and introducing quiet mode, which again is a lot of the controls that you have on your phone or that TikTok has already done, allowing you to set specific times to where you can be on quiet mode. And you can actually set up automatic replies to let people know you're in quiet mode. So if people are DMing you in the middle of the night, you can say your quiet mode is between 10 p.m. and 7 a.m. So it'll say in quiet mode so that people know, you're not ignoring them or whatever the case may be. I personally don't care that much that I'm gonna let somebody know I'm in quiet mode in the middle of the night I'm asleep, but this option is now available on Instagram. So I think it's, again, another step in the right direction of helping provide us with tools to not be so consumed with social media and wanting to be on there all the time.
When did this roll out?
So this is already starting to roll out now. I think January 19th. So it's just starting the last couple of days, starting to roll out. I'm sure everyone will start to see it as they update the app. Okay. You should be able to see it in your features.
So is that anything like these new transparency tools or is it part of the same rollout?
I don't think it's part of this same rollout, but it's, again, I think as a whole, these companies are just trying to be more socially responsible and feeling what can we do to ease some of the concerns with people being on these apps. And one of the major concerns is people are spending too much time on the app and they feel like they can't shut it off. They continue to scroll. Same thing with TikTok, where you're scrolling and it's this is a reminder. You've been scrolling for a while now.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's legit. I mean, it just puts it in context how much folks are on social media. It
reminds you to take a break, to pause. I mean, there's a lot of little kind of implementations that are coming with this update that are going to help you to just have hopefully a better online experience with Instagram.
How about you just not bother my experience? I mean,
listen.
But there are some people who stay on social media constantly, where to the point.
I don't know anybody like that. I'm just saying.
Well, you're fortunate.
I'm just saying I don't know anybody like that. Do you, Amber? You know anybody like that?
Yeah, I think it's a big problem with kids, especially. Mm-hmm. And I think these tools are going to be really helpful for kids. I mean, that's the beauty of being an adult. We're supposed to have some sort of self-control. So most of the adults, hopefully, are going to know. Okay, I've been scrolling for a little while. I should probably put my phone down and make dinner or do something productive. But it's the kids online on TikTok will say you're chronically online, because that's somebody who spends a lot of time on social media, scrolling, commenting, making videos, just caring about online life more than real life.
Yeah.
And that's very key. So with these notifications, like, does it pop up when you're on an Instagram or a TikTok, Facebook, like, hey, you've scrolled 15 times in the last 10 minutes? Like, where does the notification pop up again, Amber?
Yeah, so there's actually a feature that you can go in on Instagram and set up. So you can set up times to say my quiet mode is going to be between this time and this time. But there are also things that are going to pop up to let you know, hey, you've been scrolling for a while, or, you know, you haven't interacted with this page in a while. Just basically ways to kind of nudge you and to pay attention to things. So some people are worried that this is going to mess up the engagement and further reduce the amount of engagement, because Instagram has been, creators have been hit really hard recently with a major drop in engagement on Instagram. And so people are concerned that this will just be one of those things that are going to further affect that engagement.
Wait, so does this benefit Instagram or hurt them?
I mean, I think that's to be seen. Again, I think it's part of a larger issue of like social responsibility, because I think as if you're just looking at it as a whole, it's going to hurt them, right? Because people are spending less time on the app and people are starting to live in the real life more than, you know, Instagram life or whatever. But I think this is something that they have to do either to avoid pending or future lawsuits for people to, you know what I mean? Like stuff. Yeah.
Fair enough.
But I imagine that
I don't want to see notifications. I'm telling you now. Because
I did turn off my notifications.
Yeah, I have a lot of notifications on my phone. Listen,
ding 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 ding.
If you send me a text message, I don't get a notification. If you send me, I mean, my phone calls on vibrate, right? I don't want to hear it, right? I don't get text messages. The only way I see your text message is if I open the Messenger app deliberately to look. Right? Correct. Because so many things are distracting me. I don't get notifications from any app. If I download an app, I don't give them access to be able to send me notifications. I noticed that when I was on YouTube a few weeks ago, it was telling me that I was playing it too loud. I had been playing for a while too loud, the music too loud, and that it causes ear damage, blah, 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 hearing loss or whatever. You know, but you know, I kept playing it because I couldn't really hear what it said. Right. But at the same time, like, I just don't care for all the notifications that you get from these apps from time to time.
And see, I don't have my notifications on either, so I don't have to worry about this. But if you notice, you know, our phones, the iPhones, they all have quiet mode now, and it says like I'm at work. So like I have my quiet mode. So when I get to a specific location, like when I'm at the office, my quiet mode is automatically turned on. So I get no notifications whatsoever. Even phone calls, text messages, everything gets silenced. But with Instagram, they're doing this in-app specifically. And then because, you know, and again, I think this is most beneficial for kids and for teenagers and young adults who don't necessarily have that self-control or time management. And also I think there's a fear or a feel for them to be, you know, constantly online, and they have to be constantly available because of FOMO. What am I going to miss while I'm gone? What if something goes viral? What if I'm not there when it happens, you know? So Instagram provides a summary, like when you come back and your quiet time is over and you come back, Instagram will provide a summary of what you missed. So like it's basically like an administrative assistant who says, here are your messages, here are your likes, here are your comments.
Just it gives you more context.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Instagram. I don't need it. But some folks may need it, Carlos.
Yes.
Some
may need it.
Some. I don't need it.
Okay.
I don't need
it. You're the 1%. Good for you.
What's happening over on TikTok, Amber?
Yeah, this new TikTok update is really exciting for me because this is right up my alley. So they launched a talent manager portal so that managers can easily negotiate brand deals for their clients, which is really huge because a lot of creators get so big and so inundated with DMs and emails and comments of just brands trying to get them to create content with them. This provides us a place where their managers can go in and kind of negotiate these deals on their behalf right in the app. So it's just another avenue to help some of these creators connect with brands and help make that a little bit more streamlined and simple.
Okay, so here's $1 million question for you, Amber, because I recently had someone approach me and say, you know, we should be doing a lot more activity on TikTok. what say you, right? And I know you spend a whole lot of time on TikTok. And of course, we have Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter. We have these platforms. But do you think that TikTok is equally important for those that are trying to reach those particular segments of whoever their, demographics is for their particular product or service?
You got real general at the end. It depends on the demographic, but I think in most cases, TikTok is even more important. TikTok is more important than LinkedIn for a lot of people. TikTok, especially for I would think
2 different audiences for one.
You said what?
2 different audiences for one between TikTok and LinkedIn.
Absolutely. And so I think especially if you're trying to reach a younger demographic. I was trying to say the 2 words at once.
When you say younger, what is the age of younger in that sentence?
25 and younger.
I would say if you're trying to reach anyone under 35, TikTok. And that's not to say that there are still people over 35 on TikTok, but you're also going to find them on Facebook and LinkedIn and things like that. Whereas those younger generations, they're going to spend a lot more time on TikTok than they are those other platforms. And as we talked about, probably a couple months ago at this point, TikTok is becoming the new search engine, like battling Google. Anything you're looking for, how to do your hair a certain way, resume tips, interview, mock interviews, recipes, pretty much anything you can think of that you would look up, that you would want to know more about, you can look on TikTok and you can learn about that in quick, 1 to 3 minute videos from people that you can identify with and that you kind of feel like you relate to.
Fascinating.
This is absolutely fascinating to me because I run TikTok campaigns and they don't yield as good of leads as a Facebook or Google AdWords do, which is why I'm even more wondering why it's potentially a platform that even for school we should even be considering.
Oh, because
what I'm saying? Just being specifically.
I think organically, there's definitely opportunity for, ads on TikTok, but I think organically creating content and pushing it out, you have so much opportunity to be discovered on there and for people to organically discover you who are genuinely going to want to interact with you. Honestly, TikTok has been doing some updates lately that I'm not a huge fan of, and I really hope they continue to switch it up and get it right. But typically TikTok has been the place where you can be discovered. Like Instagram, not so much. Instagram, you're connecting. It's like your sphere of influence first. Instagram, you're connecting to your friends and family and then outward of there and kind of like working through your 6 degrees of connection or whatever. Whereas TikTok, you started out wherever and you just came in and like you literally could connect with anybody, could find anyone or have anyone find you. And then you might happen to come across someone along the way. So it's been very different from the way that Instagram, Facebook, and these other platforms have moved. And that has been why so many people have been discovered from TikTok.
You know what? So you just cemented to me how and what that looks like from a business standpoint of the school as we're trying to somehow get into the TikTok thing. You pretty much just gave me what I need.
But you still needed that organic feel.
You need the organic feel, but I don't think necessarily that as a school, you have to have the presence, right? I believe in affiliate marketing as well, right? Influence marketing.
Yes.
And so you have a person like, I don't know, let's just choose Amber.
Boom. Yes.
You have all these affiliates out here who are creatives within their own rights. And a lot of times the individuals that follow them don't realize how much work they have to put into the content in order to publish it, which is specifically what our digital marketing program is about. And I think that for me, that's probably where we need to be as opposed to simply trying to reinvent the wheel. It takes time to build these organic followings. And as opposed to
I think and that in itself can be a strategic campaign. For instance, if you don't want to have an actual presence on the app, but you want to use the services and the platforms of the influencers and the affiliates, doing so and just creating a specific hashtag that can be used so that if somebody were to search to that, they're going to find everything DTST, because otherwise you're going to have a little bit here. But if somebody sees that video and they want to learn more and there's no way for them to go down a rabbit hole and learn more, they're going to disengage. So you have to find a way to make sure that once they find something, they discover you and they want to learn more about you, they can learn right there on the app until their heart is content. And then obviously you want to take it off the app. That's the end goal. But they have to be able to get what they need on the app first.
That's what I'm talking about right there. When you come here, sometimes you might get it for free. I'm just saying. I'm saying you might just get a little bit of it for free. Now, Amber, you've been doing this for how long now?
Social media for about 10 years.
10 years. Okay. 10 years. And so many things have changed in 10 years. I don't know, in 2013, was there even a Facebook? What was Facebook doing?
13, yeah.
2000, Facebook was nothing where it is now.
But I mean, I was the person who was like completely reprogramming my MySpace page and learning code because I wanted to make my MySpace cool back in 2006 or whatever it was. And one of the first people that didn't have an EDU address on Facebook. Like, I've been kind of into social media since it began, but I didn't. Once I realized it could be used for business purposes while I was in college, I was like, oh yeah, for sure. Let me do that.
That's what I'm talking about. And that's who we have here right now, blessing us. Amber, we appreciate you so much. Why don't you tell everybody, if they wanted to follow you today, where they might find you?
Yep, you can find me at Get Real with AB.
Get Real with AB. Stanley, again.
Oh, man.
We so sorry. Believe you, bro. We feel for you. We feel for you. Thank you, Amber. We look forward to hearing from you again next week.
All right.
All right. Wow.
All right.
Wow.
TikTok, Instagram, always doing something interesting.
Yeah, right. And basically it's teaching me what I don't know, because I'm not on them every day. You know, I went an entire week without getting on social media, and it didn't bother me one way or the other. You know, I didn't feel like I was, losing anything and I had to be there. But at the same time, I realized that for some, this is their livelihood. You know, this is that world that they live in. And so somehow, some way, we're trying to figure out what's the easiest for us to be able to meet those individuals as we have something to offer them.
Right.
So, and one of the people that are positioned to kind of assist us with that, we are about to have a conversation with.
Okay, Jasmine Majors.
Jasmine. So Jasmine is one of the digital marketing instructors here at DSDT.
Okay.
Jasmine has been with us. Don't make me start lying now. I want to say maybe
she's been here with you for a long time. Let her say.
Yeah, right. Because
we'll let Jasmine say.
I don't know. But I do know that when Jasmine came is when we first started the digital marketing professional program.
Okay.
And since she and Eric have been back there, it has grown considerably. There are so many students back there. I can't even tell you how many there are. I just know it's packed. I sat in their class a couple weeks ago, and I was amazed at how much traction they actually have and retention they have with the students. So what they're doing is right. And we definitely want to bring her on and have a conversation with her about the program itself, as well as some of the things that she brings to the table. So why don't we just go ahead and bring on Ms. Jasmine Majors.
Let's get right into it.
Jasmine, how are you today?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Doing great. Thank you for joining us. Okay, so we got a bunch of stuff we want to discuss with you, Jasmine. Let's start here. What is digital marketing here at DSDT, and how is it different from traditional marketing?
So that's two questions, right?
It is. It's two questions combined into one.
Okay, what's the first question? I'm sorry.
Okay, so the first part of it is, what is digital marketing here at DSDT, and how is it different from traditional marketing?
Okay, so digital marketing here at DSDT is basically hands-on approach where students learn copywriting, they learn content creation 1 and 2, which is audio and video creation, social media advertising 1 and 2, where we dive into like Facebook ads, Google ads, SEO, SEM, pay-per-click, And then we also touch on graphic design, web design too. So that's what it is here in-house. And I also tell the students all the time, like, your education doesn't stop after the 4 weeks. Like, you have to keep grinding it out and just putting your best foot forward. And then the difference from traditional marketing and digital marketing is, when I think about traditional marketing, I think about like the 1990s. Like, I was born in 91. So like the 90s, driving around.
Wait, stop. Hold on. You're not just going to say that. You're not just going to say that and just roll past it. Back up. Wait. What do you mean?
But Jasmine, this is coming from an individual who likes to say how much older he is than folks.
Right,
how do you like it now, Carlos Harris? How do you like it now, Mr. Harris?
What do you mean you were born in 91? What month?
April.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yes.
This is why I'm having these problems, man. This is why I'm having these problems.
Oh,
This lady is sitting here telling us she was born in 91. You know, some great things happened in 91.
Mhm.
Like, I graduated high school in 91.
okay.
I'm just saying.
Mhm.
I'm just saying. I moved to New York in 91.
In 91.
Oh, wow.
In 91.
Did the Pistons repeat in 91?
I don't remember if they did that.
I think they went first in
93, wasn't it?
was it 91, 92, 93?
Mm-hmm.
But the Bad Boys were in full effect in
Yeah.
91.
Yeah, a lot
Absolutely.
of great things happened in 91.
Yes.
I just want to just take a minute to reflect. I know you don't remember, but for some of us that were there, I'm just telling you, 91 was a good year, and thus we had you. So anyway, continue. I apologize. I digress.
So like an example that I like to use is like being born in 91 and like just driving around with my grandmother, hearing the radio ads, billboards, newspapers, commercials. Like, that was your traditional way of targeting your audience. And with that, the demographic was so broad and so vague. So like, you had to call a phone number, you had to write it down. Back then, we couldn't rewind, so you had to catch it again, maybe. So it was just like very traditional when it comes to that. And then as digital marketing comes into effect, you can really tailor your reach, your demographics, your gender, age, occupation, hobbies. Like, you could really get a persona so like strategically that matches your product or service. That is crazy. So digital marketing just really tailors everything down to each aspect when it comes to marketing.
So, and this is one of my questions, right? Would you, in today's environment, would you say that digital marketing outweighs more of the traditional marketing tactics?
No, it just enhances it. I don't think, because all the traditional marketing that we know of is going to still stand solid forever. Digital marketing just enhances the reach. Just because we have a business in Detroit, you can have a billboard where there's a lot of traffic, but creating campaigns and promoting as well on social media also helps. So I don't think we'll ever get away from the traditional marketing tactics, because in class, we start with the traditional marketing with our students, and then we build from there.
Okay, so the big billboards, don't see them going away in the near future.
No, they're just going to get digital. Well, they're already digital. That's it.
Right. Yep. Now, let me. So, true story. When we first started here in this particular building, we were going to run television campaigns, in order to try to recruit students.
Mm-hmm.
But the problem was, we were going to spend roughly about $30,000 per month. Right, $30,000 for the campaigns, and at the end of the day, we could not be told how many students we potentially would get from those campaigns. Right. So traditionally, we have these, money that we place into ad spend for television commercials, but the television station can't necessarily say, "Oh, you're going to get 10 students from this."
The most that they could tell you is how many viewers you have at that
access to.
Yes.
Whereas, so we made the sound decision at the time, hell to the no. I'm not going to spend $30,000 and just throw it into something that's a maybe, right? Let's take this $30,000 and put in that Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, whatever. right?
Okay.
Because at the end of the day, if I spend $100, I know how many viewers it actually got before, and I know how many actually converted into a student. And that, to me, it's more valuable than necessarily just using a traditional means. So my question becomes, Jasmine, to the small business owner, like we were back in the day, right?
Mm-hmm.
To the small business owner, would you still say that both are relative, or that they really should consider using one over the other? And I ask that because you have a number of businesses, especially here in the city of Detroit, that still believe in the traditional. Just because it's really outdated in some sense. And there's better ways of spending those dollars to connect with their customer base outside of necessarily, going to these stations and spending $30,000 on a hope and a dream.
That's true for us, like small business owners. I typically say there's a lot of reach in your backyard. So that's where the traditional marketing comes in, and not saying spend a lot on like radio ads or billboard ads. That's just getting your feet, like hitting the pavement and getting out in your neighborhood, becoming personable, and then creating content from that story and posting it. So really they just commingle, but it all depends on what your campaign is. Is it building brand identity, brand trust, brand awareness? Are you trying to collect emails? Are you trying to like what are you trying to do? So that's where you tailor your correct marketing campaign to what you're trying to do. And sometimes traditional marketing may be implemented and sometimes it doesn't call for it.
Okay. Fair enough. All right, Josh. Next question.
Okay, let's see. What else do we have here for you, Jasmine? Okay. Can you explain the different channels and techniques used in digital marketing?
Yes. Let's see. Different channels and techniques.
Break down the strategy for us.
I'm trying to think of a good one.
Well, here's something. I'll come back to that. Here's something that got my attention. What's the role of SEO, SEM, and PPC in digital marketing?
Yeah, so pay-per-click is where you run an ad, and per the clicks that's what the business pays for. Mm-hmm. And then SEM is literally just like a Google ad, or you're paying to promote your business on the higher ranking of something. And then SEO, like I tell my students, is literally just like using hashtags, but the proper ones, where you're organically at the top of the ranking when it comes to Google. Or any platform like that. So just utilizing SEO organically. It's free. Making sure that you use SEO for your images on your webpage, your blogs, every single page that you have on your website. You want to make sure that you're using SEO to basically optimize your pages so that it hits the top of the Google search. Because like we say, if you haven't heard this saying, we all go to the second page on Google to die. No one goes to the second Google page. If what you're searching for is not on the first Google page, you figure something's wrong with your choice. And you're going to say, maybe I need to reword that a little bit. So that's where SEO come from. And that's it.
Okay. What about some of the key metrics?
As far as
as far as used in a successful digital marketing campaign.
So what I typically go after is first your return on investment. What did you spend on that campaign, and what did you receive back as far as sales, emails, or like data, your analytics? Was it worth it?
I spent $30,000.
So not email traffic, but website traffic. How many visitors came? How long did they stay? Like what pages did they click through? And then you have your conversion rate, the people that visited, that bought your service, bought a product, provided their email, or whatever the case may be for that campaign. So the metrics are pretty simple and like straightforward when it comes to that. And that all ties in with what campaign you are running. So for example, if I had a landing page and I wanted to collect emails based on who to get to sign up for a course, and then I ran my ad campaign, and then I find out that I have 50 emails from the campaign in like 30 days. So then I can say, hey, okay, this is working or this isn't working. This is my demographics if they have to figure something out. And then I can start to build a persona from there. So it just all depends on the reason why you're marketing and running that campaign and what you're looking to receive for your metrics.
Okay, so how can folks integrate traditional marketing methods with digital marketing strategies to create a comprehensive marketing plan?
Yeah, so I touched on that earlier too. So one way to always do that, like I said, is when you build like your marketing plan and you figure out what your goals are, a lot of the times when it comes to small businesses, even big businesses, you'll see them giving back, like volunteering, and then that's just to help get their name out there in a nice public light. So that's also content that you can mix with the digital side, but it's still traditional. You're helping out your community, you're building that trust, that brand awareness, and that's the traditional way as well. So building a strong strategy, not having 100% of visibility online is like, I don't believe in that. 100% visibility online, I don't believe in that. I believe the traditional marketing is something good to always lean back on because it has, like, it's the grandfather of things. And I feel like that Adobe, like WordPress, I call those the godfathers, because they've been around for so long. Like that's how we started. That's how we got to the digital age. So commingling those together, any strategy, if it calls for, is perfect.
See there, that's why that's what I'm talking about right there. That's what I'm talking about. I appreciate that. Giving respect to the godfathers, to those of us that have been around for a while, since '91. I'm telling you, I appreciate that. Thank you. Listen, as I'm sitting here listening to you, the number one question that comes to mind is why digital marketing? How and why do you find yourself in digital marketing?
Honestly, I had gave this message to the students today. We've been digital marketers since forever. And like when I gave the example of me and my friends, we were all around, like, you go ask your mom, can she take us to the mall? No, you go ask your mom, can she take us to the mall? So we would literally sit at a table and then collaborate on who mother was the best to ask because she didn't have nothing to do and who was going to ask her. We had to have all this information down, what movie we were going to see, what time, who was all going, what time would be ready. So we would go and persuade them to do that for us.
Then you have to get the message back to the boyfriends to be at the mall at that particular time.
Yeah, So it was like a whole marketing experience. It was just, that was our goal. So instead of it being financial gain, it was to persuade them to do something for us. So why digital marketing? It's a thing that is ever, like, it's growing fast. And it's something that you can learn every single day. Even when we think of just the billboards, the radio ads only, and then how now like newspapers are obsolete, you can really just go online, Google the quickest thing, and something pops up. So it's really just, why not digital marketing is my rebuttal, because it's so amazing. Even with like AI and like all these things that can help advance businesses now, that people are creating. So technology and digital marketing is going to be here forever.
Okay, finally, what career opportunities are there for those that are into digital marketing or who have a background in digital marketing?
I would say like a manager, and they have social media managers. You could be a manager like of a small business, a startup, or a big, or like a Fortune 500 company. You could run social media ads. You can do a lot of components, like I named earlier about the classes that we take. If you love to write and you find yourself saying, hey, I'm not really into like the metrics or the analytics of ads, but I really love writing, being creative, and creating content, there's jobs for that. And that's why marketing is so important, because there's a lot of problems to solve. And that's why digital marketing is, like, to me, the number one best thing in this school. But yeah, so that's
well, I got some people over in full stack development in Tech 6 that would argue different, but I love the enthusiasm.
Yeah, I know. I love tech, but digital marketing it's amazing.
Yeah, digital marketing is my go-to too, so I don't care what they say. I'm saying, hear ye. Jasmine, I want to say thank you. I appreciate you taking out time. I know you have a class to prepare for, but I definitely thank you for coming on and giving us some of the breakdown of the digital marketing professional program. If there's one thing that you want to depart with to let your students know, that future student that's sitting on the other side of the screen, what would you say to them as they're preparing or considering to take your program?
I would say, get up, let's go. Come see the site. It's amazing to be here. We're going to push you to like your goals. Even if you don't have goals right now, we'll help you form them, help you get there to create a better quality life for yourself.
Yeah, beautiful. That's what I'm talking about. Jasmine, thank you. And we look forward to speaking to you again in the future, okay?
Thank you so much.
All right, take care.
Bye, you too.
Bye-bye. Sharp.
I like Jasmine.
Mm-hmm.
I like Jasmine. Jasmine is a new addition to the team.
Okay.
So she hasn't been around as long as I was trying to make out. She ain't been around since 91. I'm just saying.
Oh my goodness. Let it go. Let it go.
I've been around since 91.
Uh-huh. We are all aware.
What's that old saying? When you were just a twinkle in your father's eye? Okay.
Oh my
all
goodness.
Right. But all right, all the same.
All the same.
So this week in the segment that we started, why DSDT?
Why?
You know, I drive around sometimes asking myself this question.
Okay.
Why DSDT? So much happens throughout the week, throughout the time from this episode since last. I ask myself this, and it is something that I truly want my team to begin to consider throughout their daily activity as well. Why DSDT? You know, we started a program, MA program. It'll be up and running on February 6th. And as I was looking at some of the data pertaining to other programs here in Metro Detroit, I was taken aback because I didn't know there were so many other programs, there were so many other institutions that do it. So the first question that popped up in my mind, why DSDT? Why? You know, in the answer can't be explained to me better than those that have already made the choice, the selection of DSDT. So this segment every week is about those students, those individuals. So coming to the show today, we're going to bring on Mr. Marco. Mr. Marco now, he's something different.
Lograsso.
He's different.
Okay.
He's different.
He's different.
He is different.
Okay.
And I'm gonna wait to bring him on to show you how different he is, right? But I definitively wanted to bring him on because he's actually back there in the digital marketing professional program. And I wanted to get his take on why he chose DSDT when having the skill set that he does could afforded him anywhere that he wanted to go. All right. So why don't we just go ahead and bring on Mr. Marco and have that conversation?
All right. Let's get it.
Mr. Marco, how are you, sir?
You good? How are you?
I'm pretty fair. I wish you was here. Are you here?
I am here, yes.
Okay, well, great, Dan. I didn't know that. All right, so before I get into everything, why don't you give us a little bit about yourself, your name, and I know you kind of, how old are you, about 20, 21?
I'm 19.
Okay, so he's 19 years old. That's even better. I would like for you to explain to us who you are and just give us a little bit about yourself. All right.
Yeah. So I graduated high school last year, and kind of just like making like short films on my phone. And I've always been into like filming and stuff like that. And then I guess I kind of just wanted to start somewhere. And I kind of just started off by using my phone, and kind of working my way up.
Okay, so as of right now, do you live in the city of Detroit, or where do you live?
No, I live in Macomb.
So you live in Macomb. How far is that from the school itself?
It is an hour away.
You live an hour away from the school?
275 north and south.
I do. With traffic, it's going to become an hour. Yeah.
275. Up
So
and down.
well, let me hold on now. You come to school how many days a week?
3 days a week.
3 days a week. So you are spending roughly 6 hours of your life per week to come back and forth to DSDT.
Yes.
All right, Josh, before I ask my question, can you please go ahead?
Okay, so after you make that drive, you get out of your car, you come in here you come into the building here at DSDT in Southwest Detroit. Talk about the hands-on experience for you. Like, how is it with you as far as hands-on experience here at DSDT?
Yeah, I mean, everything here is really all hands-on. I mean, we worked on audio, podcasting. Sometimes there will be like book work, but most of the time it is all hands-on.
What about opportunities for projects and internships? Have you tapped into any of that yet?
Yes, so I did have an internship with someone called Chris Hubble. He's retail. Oh my God, I can't say it. Real estate agent. And I kind of just made a little short commercial for him, just kind of to get his brand out there.
What are your future endeavors, your goals? What's your plan as of now at 19, right?
Yes. I mean, I really just want to get into the whole film industry. My goal is to make work in movies and stuff like that.
Absolutely. What kind of movies? Well, what kind of things are you learning here at DSDT that helps you develop your craft in filming?
Yeah, so I mean, I've learned some camera works, and then I did get an opportunity to use the school to make a film, and I'm into horror films. I love them, so I figured I just can make one here, and yeah.
And backtrack to the top of this conversation. Did I hear something about he made a movie on his phone? You told me about this guy a while ago.
I'm just sitting here.
I'm
sitting here on my hand.
You showed me the movie.
Listen,
it was
shut up.
It was a short. Walk me through that. Elaborate on that whole process and what you did and how long the movie was, and how you were able to make it on your phone.
Yeah. So I started off on my phone. I was just kind of get little short clips. Well, first off, I think of an idea, and then I kind of think of how am I going to create this idea. So once I get all that processed, I just go ahead and start filming. I use little equipment to help stabilize it, and I just get my shots. And I use a few different apps. There's one called KindMaster. Then I kind of edit it in iMovie, just because all that stuff is a part of iPhone. And then I just add the musics in. I just kind of taught myself how to do it, really.
I mean, where did that idea come from? I've never heard of anyone making, at least to my knowledge, I'm not an expert in the filming industry. Where did that idea even come from?
I've always been into film. So ever since I was in elementary school,
But to make a movie on your phone, that's what I'm getting at.
Yeah. It just happened, really. There's no really specific reason how I got into it. I thought I could try and figure out, because cameras aren't cheap. They're not cheap. So I figured if you can use something that you already have, might as well go for it. So that's kind of how I started.
Is there a specific program you can use as well in this process? Is this something more common than we realize?
Yeah. Are you talking about editing software?
Yes.
Yeah. There's a whole bunch of apps out there. You just got to find the one that works best for you.
Okay.
There's not a specific one that I would recommend. It's whatever works best for you.
I was listening to an episode of Earn Your Leisure last night.
Earn Your Leisure?
Earn Your Leisure.
Okay.
And one of the guys was discussing how he does all the branding for the show, basically for the company. And he says, I don't use a computer. He says, I am the most computer illiterate person you know.
All right.
And he says that I use my phone. I use my phone for everything. I remember when we first began the film program here, and we have a $30,000 camera here. We have a $7,000 camera over here. And I'm like, no. At that time, I understood that in the city of Detroit, who specifically were our students, mostly everyone had access to a mobile device and not a $30,000 camera.
True.
So we want to teach people to use the devices that they have readily accessibility to, as opposed to what we want them to have access to. Now, don't get me wrong. One of the old instructors, Brandon Cornett, Director Beasy, for you guys that don't know who that is, he has a Scarlet Red. Scarlet Red, I don't know, runs about $30,000.
All right.
So he has the equipment. But for those that are just starting out and they still have that eye, then why not use your phone? I'm one of the type of individuals, I believe that it doesn't have to be 100% professional and polished. Since that social has dawned, and so many individuals have gotten into it, it does not have to. And in fact, if it looks professional and polished, I'm going to scroll right past it because it looks like a commercial. It looks like something that you're trying to sell me something. But if you're just telling the story and you're trying to get me to connect with your brand, then I want it to look authentic. And what this young man does with his eye and with his tools, it looks authentic. It looks authentic. And that's why, and I'm going to tell this story, but I'm going to say it. Take it for what it's worth.
Okay.
Now, I remember when, because again, I'm a little bit older than some people, but I remember back around that 91 year when a certain individual came out to the neighborhood where I was out in Ann Arbor, and there was this big music in the park type of festival. And there was a certain individual that got on stage and he was doing this song and we were cheering him on. And I thought he was the coldest, right? I just was like, wow, this guy is good. Little did I know that later on he would go on to become who we now know as Eminem. When I see what this young man does, I stop for a minute and I think, am I in the presence of another Eminem?
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Of another Spike Lee.
Generational talent.
Absolutely. He's phenomenal. He's phenomenal at what he does with the tools that he uses. All he needs is more mentorship and guidance in order to meet with his destiny. That's what I truly believe. And that's what I believe DSDT is here for. I believe that unequivocally. So many talents have walked through these doors, and he's just another in a long list. There's been quite a few before him. I mean, even the instructors themselves. And, I'm a creator myself, a creative, and I like to see those of this new generation doing what they love to do to inspire hope that they can do as well as those before them. And they don't need $100,000 setup in order to connect with their customers, So again, I just wanted to make sure that we got the story today of this young man. And because I didn't want to go there in the beginning, let me ask you, Marco.
Yeah.
You drive 6 hours a week.
Yeah.
Right? To come back and forth to DSDT.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, the number one question that we want the answer to is why DSDT?
I mean, really, DSDT really helps out with, it's hard to explain. They kind of help out with whatever you are trying to go for. So if you're more into podcasting, the instructor here will really help you out with podcasting. Me, I wanted to learn more about camera. So the other day, Eric was kind of helping me out, trying to pick out the best camera for the look that I'm trying to go for. And he went into detail on like which one would work best for me. And you can just tell that all the instructors here are super passionate in trying to help their students. So, I mean, DSDT is pretty much like a family to me.
Okay.
All right, Marco. We let you go for the afternoon.
What was that again?
Do you have any final thoughts before we let you go for the afternoon? You've done very well, but hey, just want to give you the last word if you want it.
I think I'm good.
No, let me ask you this way. What he was trying to say, what he was trying to say. If there was someone looking on the other side of this camera, right?
Yeah.
And they were considering DSDT, what would you say to them that they would make the choice to take a program here?
I mean, goodness, I didn't think of this. What would I say? I mean,
if you could describe DSDT in one word, hit us with it.
One word. I mean, it's hard to describe it in one word. I mean, oh goodness, I'm sorry, I can't think of this one.
Just say it. I tried to let you off the hook. This is all Carlos.
It's an amazing school. I gotta say that. And like I said before, DSDT is like a family to me. So if you're looking into DSDT, this is the place to be.
There you go.
Thank you. Thank you.
Hey,
Marco.
I think Carlos is good.
I appreciate you, my friend. And I just want to say, I absolutely love your first name. That was my brother's name. That's my brother's name. That's my son's name, Marco. Appreciate you. Have a great day. And we look forward to having another conversation with you, okay?
Thank you.
Take care, my man.
Marco's a little bashful.
Doesn't matter. He's a director.
Yeah.
At some point, he gets to be the guy in Hollywood that gets the $5 billion movie budgets to do X, Y, and Z.
Very
he's
true.
19 right now.
Oh, yeah, he's well on his way.
Got to be connected with those people that can put him into places to have those type of conversations.
Without question.
So,
without question. Absolutely. Good stuff.
Just want to make sure, I'm having him here first, have a conversation with me before he goes on to have it with.
Big time.
I'm just saying.
No,
guys.
good stuff. Big things for him to come in the future. Absolutely. All right. So a shout out to Amber Boone, as always. We appreciate you, Amber. A shout out to Jasmine. And again, a shout out to Marco.
You say to Amber, I say a shout out to Stanley. A shout out to Stanley. I'm just saying. Stanley, I feel for you, brother. I feel for you.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
But back to business.
Absolutely.
All right. Great things to come. Okay. In the meantime, that will do it for the Tech School podcast powered by DSDT. See ya.